800-618-4223. 800-618-4223. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
2:04 on 710 KURV. I'm Tim Sullivan, and this news is a service of Lone Star National Bank, bringing the bank to you in the Rio Grande Valley and San Antonio. Women will no longer be able to get an abortion in Texas if doctors can detect a heartbeat in the fetus. That's the gist of the bill Governor Greg Abbott made law on Wednesday.
The new law bans abortions after the detection of a fetal heartbeat, even in cases of rape or incest. It would also impose civil penalties on abortion doctors and those assisting. Governor Abbott signed it into law, surrounded by dozens of lawmakers.
Our creators endowed us with the right to life, and yet millions of children lose their right to life every year because of abortion. In Texas, we work to save those lives.
The new law takes effect in September. Abortion rights groups vow to fight it in court. At the state capitol, Chris Fox, News Talk 710 KURV.
Today's 710 KURV People poll: do you think Texas' new fetal heartbeat abortion law will survive a legal challenge? Go to KURV.com and our 710 KURV Facebook page to give your opinion. 710 KURV's People Poll, a service of Total Imaging Solutions, home of the one-penny disposable menus. Call 664-2113. Variably cloudy and warmer this afternoon. Highs from 84 to 89. Partly cloudy, fair tonight, lows around 70. Warm again tomorrow with some stray thunderstorms around. Right now it's 80 at 710 KURV. News at the top and bottom of the hour and when it breaks and on demand at KURV.com. I'm Tim Sullivan, 710 KURV.
Rio Grande Valley. Bird Ogden dealerships have made 3 commitments to each of you. 1. Make auto buying as smooth, easy, and affordable as possible. 2. Ensure we have the largest inventory for you to shop. And 3. Offer you safe ways to get the vehicle you're wanting. We keep pushing our finance partners to continue great programs for you, like the no-car payments for 90 days offer. It's been extended to us so we can offer it back to you. But don't wait. We don't know how long it will keep being offered, so you can't afford to miss out. Get this incredible deal when you purchase any new or pre-owned vehicle from any of our 22 locations, and you can defer your car payments for 3 months. This applies to any make and any model. Only the Bird Ogden family of stores can offer you over 3,500 cars, trucks, and SUVs in one online shopping store. Just pick your vehicle online, process your credit application, and you can have your vehicle safely delivered to you. But just know we're also available in store, full-time, with masks and sanitizers still being used. Don't wait. Click on to birdogden.com today and take advantage. Dolly Gus.
From the KURV Broadcast Center in McAllen, Texas, in the mighty Rio Grande Valley, this is a News Talk 710 KURV special.
Who's that special?
This is a McAllen Runoff Candidate Forum.
We have a very special guest.
This KURV special is powered by Bird Ogden Fiesta dealerships of the Rio Grande Valley. Here's your host, Sergio Sanchez.
Your News Radio Talk Radio Authority for the Rio Grande Valley, News Talk 710 KURV. It is an honor that you join us, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Normally, we would have afternoons with Roxanne Flores between now and 4 p.m., but we need to talk with all the folks who wish to serve McAllen at City Hall. Up first are the 2 runoff candidates for mayor of McAllen. So come June 5th, Saturday night, sometime in the 7 o'clock hour, after the polls close, everything running normal, we should know who the new mayor for the city of McAllen will be. It will either be Veronica Vela Whitaker or Javier Villalobos. We want to thank both for participating in today's discussion that will end at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m., we plan to speak with the candidates who wish to be commissioners for the respective seats, 1, 3, and 6, on City Hall. I'm Sergio Sanchez, and I'm joined by Roxanne Flores. And Roxanne, go ahead and start the program. First question.
Thank you both for joining us today. I know you've been really busy, so I appreciate y'all taking time to talk to us today on 710 KURV. The whole hour is dedicated to you two. So first question, and I guess Javier can go first. As Valley cities increase their economic development efforts, does McAllen need to help increase incentives to lure new businesses?
And we will do our best, gang, to keep the answers for 1 minute. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that at the beginning. We'll do our best to time it at 1 minute. Go ahead, Javi.
Certainly. Actually, McAllen has been providing incentives throughout. We continue even now. Everybody wants to be in McAllen, but we have a little bit of an issue a lot of the times with the development corporation. Some of the rules are a little too strict, not the development corporation, the development center. And we have a little bit of an issue there. And that's one of the things I've said immediately that we need to revisit the development center so that we can get some of those businesses that want to come to McAllen in here, because a lot of times we are tied up with bureaucracy and they go elsewhere. But the initial attempt, I'm telling you, pretty much is they want to be in McAllen. So we can incentivize, we definitely can. We've been concentrating a lot on maquilas for the past years, and we have done fantastic. But look, our small businesses are in need, especially right now because of COVID. I think there's a lot of things we can do, especially now, even with the federal funding that we're getting. We can incentivize, and I see no issue. A lot of times people think, how can you give a grant? How can you do that through the EDCs? Well, that's the intent of those entities, to assist, to promote business, to bring in, to create employment, and to retain employment. Okay. So we've been doing it, and we got to keep on doing it, and maybe we got to be a little more aggressive.
Okay, let's go to Veronica Vela Whitaker, Commissioner.
Good afternoon. How are you? Thank you for having us this afternoon.
Thank you.
We do need to do some type of an incentive, maybe some of the grants that we offered in the last 2 rounds for businesses that were struggling during pandemic. And so for those businesses, I believe that an incentive, or some type of a grant, like I mentioned, would be very, very important for those. And for new businesses, depending on, each case is different. Each case has different asks and different qualifications and everything else. So we would have to probably take each one of them one at a time and then figure out exactly what we can do and what we cannot do for those businesses.
What type of industry should McAllen be prioritizing to recruit, to lure? Javi?
You know what? Actually, we've been doing it already. One of the most important things, and we have expended a lot of money on, is research and development, especially medical research. I think last year, I believe, we assisted, and we are assisting the university with trying to bring in more research. We want the top paying jobs, and that's very important. So we have been doing it already. And of course, we're looking into, we're never going to become California with their computer savvy type of deals, but sometimes there's some companies that are looking at, and I think that's very important. And we get into the issues of the incentives, and I don't think we need to really think about it. I know exactly what we can do to bring them in, but it's important that we, work together, collaborate with for example, with the university, STC, all those areas, all those schools, because we also, something that's very important is that we need to have an educated workforce. That's where we're lacking a little bit. And once we do that, I think we're going to have a much better shot at getting those bigger companies.
Vero, what would you say? What's the industries McAllen should prioritize in recruitment?
Well, I believe just that if we get larger industries that do employ 300 to 500 more employees, so that we can continue to employ our residents of McAllen in order for us to continue to grow and to be beneficial to everybody. Those are the ones I think are more important. We have plenty of, we have a good amount of restaurants, and we can always use restaurants, of course, in stores and everything else. But I think we need to do, bigger factories, industries that are going to help out our community, fill up a little bit more at our Maquilas area, so that we can, again, employ more than 300 to 500 employees.
You're listening to News Talk 710 KURV. We're speaking with both candidates in the runoff for McAllen Mayor, Javier Villalobos and Veronica Vela Whitaker. Your questions are welcome on the Facebook Live broadcast. If you want to post something there, our producer Zach Cantu looking for the more interesting questions. Let me get a weighty question out of the way that's come up couple of anonymous suggestions and somebody else asking for Javier Villalobos, our outgoing commissioner, because you are an attorney who represents and does work for other cities in the valley, of obviously jostling for economic development and recruitment and bridges. So what would you say to voters who might be concerned about a conflict of interest, because you would be privy to very sensitive information at City Hall in McAllen?
Oh, certainly. And well, first of all, let me tell you, I do represent Donna. I help out a few other cities outside of the area. But look, one thing I have always said is that I will not represent Edinburgh, FAR, or Mission, because they do kind of, in a sense, compete with McAllen. Nobody else around does. But even if, what people don't quite understand is that under Chapter 171 of the Government Code, a conflict, there is no conflict if what you're talking about is a governmental entity, a school, a college, a housing authority. They're not considered business entities. So in the past 3 years, I can tell you, I'm the only commissioner that has never recused himself out of any meeting, out of any issue because of a conflict. Nobody else can say that. And that's regardless of whether I represent cities, schools, colleges, whatever I represent, because that is not a conflict. And that's statutory. It's very simple. But unfortunately, a lot of people are not informed regarding the legalities, and they misconstrue what they believe is a conflict. So I'm not concerned at all. I haven't been concerned in the past 3 years, and I won't be concerned about it as a mayor either.
Any thoughts on the issue, Veronica?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
All right. Let's go to the next question. Roxanne?
Question number 2. McAllen likely stands to receive over $40 million in COVID relief. How should McAllen spend it?
Commissioner Vettel, first.
Again, we're going to analyze exactly what projects that we have in place. And one of those projects, of course, is drainage. And we have about 38 projects going on right now. So if we can implement some of those monies to our drainage projects, so we can complete them faster, because that is something that the McAllen residents do gripe about the most, is traffic and drainage. And so if we can complete it, get it done faster, that would help all of our citizens to be at ease when we know that the rain is about to come like it did yesterday. So I believe that would be one place that we could add some monies to increase the time that we're going to do the job. The second thing that I think is most important would be also the traffic study. We've done traffic studies. We've widened a lot of streets. We've added left turn, right turn lanes. And I think that also we need to complete some of those projects again so that our traffic will begin to flow at a much better rate at the times of 8 a.m., 12 noon, and at 5 and 6 o'clock in the evenings. So those are things that I think that we should add monies in order to complete those projects a little bit sooner than later. Thank you.
Javi?
Okay, certainly. I think first we got to do what we did this last time. First, we need to make sure that we take care of our budget. If there's any shortfalls, we got to make sure we fill them first. And that's very important because, look, we want to provide the same type of services or better that the people are accustomed to. I know we're taking a hit at the bridge in some different areas, but we recoup, we balance, we make sure that our budget is okay. We don't have to worry about a tax increase. The other thing that's very important, and we did before and we should do it again, is assist small businesses. We put in several million to assist, but this time I think we can help out a little bit more. Whether it be grants, whether it be matching grants or loans or something, I think that is one of the most important things we can do. We gotta keep on. We have covered quite a few areas with Wi-Fi, and sometimes people think, well, why? I have my own internet, I have my own this. Well, a lot of people don't. Education is key to our community, even though we are not necessarily in charge of education. Look, we collaborate with schools. We need to make sure that our children are educated, and if they need Wi-Fi or whatever they need for that purpose, I think we should apply it. Now, at the very end, we also have our capital projects. We had projects that we were doing, and at the very end, because of COVID, it was a little bit difficult. Now, in a sense, we're getting about 42 million over 2 years. Our infrastructure is much better. Our drainage, a lot of the times we have issues, but not because of McAllen, but because of the canals downstream. Just like this last weekend where Tres Lagos had issues. Well, the issue was over there close to Edinburgh and McCall. But there's capital projects that we put on hold. We need to get back to them to make sure that our community has the best services ever.
The revenue coming in from the COVID relief, as you mentioned, Javi, likely over a 2-year period, we have Fortunately, it seems we don't have that deep of a shortfall in sales tax revenue. We do have a shortfall in bridge revenue as well. But let's say long term, after the COVID relief is exhausted, what is the best approach to keep everything in the black? Right now, of course, the federal dollars help. But how?
Well, Sergio, actually, our city is doing very well. It's incredible. Even during the COVID, our sales taxes went up, and we realized that us as a region are self-sustaining. So once it opens up, once we get rid of, actually, this money, I'll tell you, it's kind of like a windfall. It's something, and people say it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it is, and we got to take advantage of it. We got to take advantage of it. As a matter of fact, one of the other things I forgot to tell you is people say, well, why don't we reduce taxes because we're getting 42 million? Well, the law does not allow you. The federal government said you cannot reduce taxes to assist the people with these funds. But what we can do, and it's one of my suggestions, is why don't, of course we cannot reduce taxes, but why can't we give a credit to every single account holder in the city of McAllen, whether it be water, sewer, trash, or something for a month or two? Mm-hmm. That benefits everybody. It benefits small businesses. It benefits the community and the residents. I thought, and I think hopefully the commission will agree with me, and hopefully we'll be doing that pretty soon.
You got the gist of where I was going for the question. I apologize for going around the barn way too long. But Vero, let me ask you the same thing. What does your gut instinct tell you as a potential leader for the city of McAllen? Is your philosophy to cut services to bring everything in to black if necessary? And I suppose as a commissioner, you both of you are very familiar with the services in the city. Are there any services that can be cut before having to raise taxes? Beto,
are you asking?
That was for you. That was for
Joe?
you, Commissioner. Yeah, go ahead, Beto.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear my name. Okay, so we have already amended monies in our budget from this past year, and we did very well. I want to thank the city of McAllen and the residents, because we were in a pandemic and most of our residents stayed in McAllen, so that helped them to stay in McAllen, shop in McAllen, do everything that they needed to. All their buying was done in our city, and that helped our tax, our revenue tremendously. So I do want to thank them for doing that. And where are we going to go in the future as we move our budget? They've already started since about March to redo the budget and to amend monies, and where we use some and where we were not able to use other monies because of the pandemic. They have amended those monies, and then that's the way we're going to be able to place ourselves and know exactly how we need to move forward for the next coming year. The McAllen Public Utility Board, of course, they voted during the month of probably about January of this past year in order to give some of their residents who did ask for to not have to pay their water bill during the month of February and March. And so that did take place for many residents in our city, which was also very helpful for them. And I want to thank the McAllen Public Utility Board for also doing that. So the city is on what needs our residents have, and as long as we are all in favor, we're going to continue to move in that direction. Thank you.
Time is 2:22. This is News Talk 710 KURV. You're listening to a McAllen Mayoral Candidate Runoff Candidate Forum. Your comments, questions are welcome at News Talk 710 KURV Facebook Live. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with Roxanne Flores. We return with the candidates. Big thank you to Bert Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships for today's program.
Jeff Malden with the Bert Ogden Auto Group, and I've got the pleasure of representing both Mazda stores in Mission and in Edinburgh, the Subaru store in Edinburgh, along with the Volvo location, and the Kia franchise that's over in Mission as well. Right now, a lot of the programs are limited to lease specials and some low APR programs. We have seen a lot of the financing incentives in terms of low APRs and in terms of special lease programs. Silver lining for a lot of consumers, right now, trade-ins, your late model car has never been worth more money. If you're driving a late model car right now that's in good condition with low miles, you can get a premium for that car because we don't have the new ones, so we're switching customers to buy those. Provided we've got something that you like on the ground, it's a great time. And the cars that we do have on the ground, they're commanding a premium. It's a really, really interesting time in the marketplace right now, not one that I've seen in almost 30 years.
Are you still delivering vehicles for test drives, lease and purchase at the end of the day. People go to the website, birdogden.com.
We still do remote test drives, even though we're reaching a level where I read yesterday that almost 50% of the U.S. population has been vaccinated and the CDC has started to relax measures and so forth. We are still taking the pandemic as an organization that is, as Bird Ogden, still very seriously, and we still put a premium on our employees and on our customer safeties. So we are still advocating for the digital retail purchase where you can purchase the car almost completely online to the point of even submitting an application to the bank and getting an actual approval. We still do the remote test drives. We will come to your house with a sanitized vehicle, allow you to drive it from your own driveway. And we still do remote deliveries where we'll take the car out to you and deliver it and finalize the transaction in the comfort and safety of your home or your office.
Jeff Malden with birdogden.com. Purchase and lease. You choose the vehicle. It all starts at birdogden.com.
Thank you, McAllen, and thank you, Rio Grande Valley, for listening today to News Talk 710 KURV, the Valley's official home for Fox News Radio.
Having a conversation on News Talk 710 KURV with our runoff candidates for McAllen Mayor, Javier Villalobos and Veronica Vela Whitaker. Your questions are also welcome at News Talk 710 KURV Facebook Live. Our producer, Zach Cantu, will lob that over to us, the more interesting questions. I'm Sergio Sanchez along with Roxanne Flores. Roxanne, back to you.
This question is for Mr. Villalobos. Javi, have you received the endorsement of other mayor candidates?
Okay, well, first of all, let me clear something real quick on the other one. Regarding the PUB, there was no funding or anything allowed to the people. What they were doing is just waiving the shutout, or at least deferring payment because of the COVID. Anyway, when we talk about endorsements, I never have endorsed or sought endorsements. I know I'm getting the assistance of a lot of people, and some of the other candidates are assisting. Do I want an endorsement? I've never used it. I've never asked for one. And I myself have never endorsed. And the reason I don't do that is this, because look, people that help me may be wanting to help somebody else and different races. So I've never before, when I ran as a commissioner or now, ever sought endorsements, and I never will. What I want is the endorsement of the people. And fortunately, they spoke as I was a top vote getter this time. And hopefully that's the endorsement I want.
Same for you, Mrs. Vela Whitaker. Have you received the endorsement of other mayor candidates?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Thank you.
Who endorsed you, Vela?
Olfo Brand Jr.
Did he say why?
He thought I was the best candidate for the position to move McAllen forward.
Now, candidates, that's plural. Was it candidate or candidates that endorsed you?
I also have another candidate that also endorsed Ruben Hinojosa, our former Congressman.
I'm talking about mayoral candidates, Commissioner. Looks like we lost the connection there temporarily. Okay, let's go back to Javier Villalobos. Will you continue the annual Christmas parade, Javier?
Will I continue the annual Christmas parade?
Yes.
Serge, you'd be amazed what it generates. A lot of people think that we spend a lot of money on the parade. We get a lot of funds from HEB, from the energy companies, from different sponsors, where what the city spends is very minimal. And unfortunately, people don't know that. Even
Does
though
the city get it back?
parades,
Does the city get it back?
Pardon?
Does the city get it back?
Oh my God, 100-fold. First of all, the sponsor. We're limited more to kind of personnel, and it's incredible when we do what it generates. When we get, for example, the last time it was on the streets, we had over 250,000 people. It was incredible. So guess what happens when the people come over here? They spend. We have people all the way from Dallas and some other states. Our parade is considered one of the best in the world. If you look at New York, compared to what we have, what they do have is the stars. We don't have the stars. But when you look at the floats, when you look at all that, and then when you see the smiles of the kids, it's all worth it. And I can tell you, it is not costing us, or very minimal.
What else needs to be done, Javi, to make McAllen a destination city
You know, sir, everybody always says that about a destination city, but look, let's be realistic. It's we're not at a beach location. We don't have some of different amenities. We first have to take care of ourselves and then kind of figure out what we could possibly do. I think we always talk about destination city. I think that's difficult. So, wow, I think we concentrate our efforts in making our city the best city around. And if people come, they come. But to make it just to come because it's a destination city, I just don't see it right now.
Okay. Let me go back to Commissioner Veronica Vela Whitaker, back with us. I'm sorry we lost the connection there for a second. The Christmas parade, Commissioner, you a fan? You going to continue that?
I think so. It's done very well for our city. It's brought a lot of people to McAllen. We've had a lot of compliments from other cities. It's made it through all the nation, and so I think as much as we can advertise our city and get compliments, and people know where McAllen is great, because then people want to come to McAllen and they want to come shop here, they want to come spend their money, and they want to come see McAllen.
Have you given any thought on what else McAllen could do to become a destination city?
Well, right now we are working on Quinta Mazatlan, and that is going to be it's a great project that is going on with Quinta Mazatlan. Of course, you know, it's already a world-renowned birding center, and we are now doing research there. We're doing a lot of different projects for a lot of the children, so that they are not be able to go to San Antonio or other big cities, you know, during the school years or whatever. We are bringing all of those different types of museums and shows to our Quinta Mazatlan, so they can learn right here in our own backyard. A lot of scientific projects, you know. So it's exciting that Quinta Mazatlan is right here in our own backyard, and we're making it much, much larger than it has been in the past.
Once it's finished, it's going to be amazing. But unfortunately, I don't think that would qualify as a destination city. I think it'll help when people come for whatever reasons. It's going to be beautiful.
As we go to commercial break, let me share something with y'all, since we're having this conversation just openly here, we could just take a couple of minutes. The Convention Center campus still has a lot of space to develop a kid-based, family-based activity. The Convention Center, at some point, I would imagine, I would hope, I'm sure several other people, business people in the community would hope that we actually start landing conventions at the McAllen Convention Center, and for the husband or wife who come along with a professional to have a place for them to go to with the children. That has always seemed to be the low-hanging fruit for the city of McAllen. Is there anything you could, let's start with you, Commissioner Whitaker. Is there anything you think we could do to help recruit that, make that happen, at least at the Convention Center campus?
And you're correct. Those ideas have already come up in conversation in some of our meetings, and you're absolutely correct. We also have the West Park, which is right across the street, and then the McAllen Nature Center, which is right next to the West Park over on Business 83 and Ware Road. It's all in the same area. And so those who will come down to McAllen, and like you said, for conventions, and the kids need something to do, we do have some ideas for that to happen right there in our own backyard, so that we have when they are, the husband or the wife is at the convention, the other ones can have entertainment. That is, so we are working on that and have ideas to do that.
Then for Javi, you want to chime in on that?
Certainly. Well, I think that does help out. The fact that we have the nature center, that's one of the things I'm talking to people that we really need to fix up. It seems a little run down right now, and I understand a lot of times because during COVID and everything. But look, the question is about the convention center. How do we attract more? It's very simple. One of the biggest complaints is that we are a little too expensive. Some of the nonprofits can never do anything there because it's too expensive. So I say, let's revisit the issue and see if we can bring more volume. You know, with volume, we should be able to take care of expenses and everything. I'd rather charge a little less and help out the people, the community, the nonprofits, the organizations that want to be in there than have it empty. And I think that's one thing we need to do, revisit that.
The time is 2:33. This is News Talk 710 KURV. We're talking with the two runoff candidates for McAllen Mayor, Veronica Vela Whitaker and Javier Villalobos. Your questions also welcome online at the Facebook Live broadcast, News Talk 710 KURV Facebook Live. Our producer will find a good question if you lob one there. and send it over to us. A big thank you to Bird Ogden and Fiesta dealerships for today's broadcast.
Top and bottom of the hour news. This is News Talk 710 KURV.
2:34 on News Talk 710 KURV. Good afternoon. I'm Tim Sullivan. President Biden has signed a bill combating hate crimes against Asian Americans. Vice President Harris opening a White House event saying the U.S. is taking action to combat hate crimes. Those against in the AAPI community have increased dramatically since the coronavirus came out of Wuhan, China. Wall Street, the Dow was up 322 points, NASDAQ up 260, S&P 500 up 56. It's a warm afternoon. We'll see highs from 84 to 89. Partly cloudy, fair tonight, lows around 70, and currently it's 80 at 710 KURV. News at the top and bottom of the hour and when it breaks and on demand at KURV.com. I'm Tim Sullivan, 710 KURV.
Jeff Malden with the Bird Ogden Auto Group, and I've got the pleasure of representing the Mission stores are located at the corner of Sherry Road and Expressway 83. That's the Kia and Mazda stores. And the Edinburgh Mazda, Subaru, and Volvo location are located at the corner of Klausner and Trenton in Edinburgh. So as we've seen the economy opening up and these restrictions being lessened, we're seeing lots of customers coming out and buying cars. We're still having record sales months, and we're still out there liquidating our inventory. All of the stores in our organization are still moving lots of volume. All of our COVID protocols and our safety measures are still in place. So people are still required to wear a mask, and all of our staff are all masked inside the dealership, do temperature readings, and do a COVID protocol checklist. We're still taking all of those aspects very seriously. We are actively getting all of our employees vaccinated that want to get vaccinated. I've been vaccinated. Most of my management staff has. So we're doing everything that we can to protect not only our employees, but our consumers that are coming in through either for sales or for service. The used car inventory is healthy, but at the same time, we're also selling record numbers of used cars, Sergio. We've been selling more used cars over the last 90 days than we've probably sold historically over the last couple of years on a monthly basis. The used car market right now is the strongest I've seen it in several decades, due in large part to the fact that the new car inventories are so lean. So if you've got a late model vehicle, like I said, that's clean and has low mileage, not only will we trade you out of it, we'll buy it from you right now. You can simply come to any one of our Bird Ogden locations with your vehicle, and we'll make you a cash offer on the spot.
Shop for, choose, lease, or purchase. It all starts at birdogden.com, and they deliver it to you.
The Digital Goddess, Kim Commando. Weekends on News Talk 710 KURV.
Time is 2:36. This is News Talk 710 KURV. Conversation with the runoff candidates for McAllen Mayor, Javier Villalobos, Veronica Vela Whitaker, along with Roxanne Flores. I'm Sergio Sanchez. Commissioner Vero, would you describe your vision as McAllen-centric or more RGV-centric? And let me define the parameters of that. Of course, what's best for McAllen and only McAllen? Or when I say RGV-centric, you're looking to forge perhaps a more regional partnership to grow the area as a whole?
Well, it all depends on which route we're going to take. If we're looking for monies regionally, then of course I do want to become partners in relationships with my surrounding cities. Mission, Edinburgh, FAR, and even at one point, Hidalgo's not too far away. But because that I think is more important. At some points, of course, I think you get more monies when you are regional. And when we do get those monies, of course, they're going to have to take it into consideration that they're going to give us monies according to our population. And of course, if we make a difference for our city and surrounding cities, then yes, I think it would be a very, very good idea. As far as McAllen is, I said McAllen's always been known as the leader in the Rio Grande Valley, and I would like to continue McAllen being the leader, and everybody looking to McAllen. What's McAllen going to do next? What's McAllen's plan? And of course, I would like to, of course, to be the leader and for us to continue. So the surrounding cities that want to be like McAllen, because it is a compliment for us. And yes, I would more than likely go both ways and for the advantage of McAllen.
Javi, what would you say?
I would say that, look, I think it's very important that what we realized during this COVID is that as a region, we can survive. And we have 2,000, about 2,500 employees. About 60% live outside of McAllen. They come in, they leave. We depend on each other. So to say, look, we are about McAllen only is impossible. Even our employees don't live here. We have to think regionally. And that's how, even Veronica said it, that's true. When it comes to federal funds, when it comes to state funds, we got to think regionally. But look, if you think regionally, just like we did this time during COVID, unintentionally it happened and it had to be done. Guess what it did to McAllen? Look at our sales taxes. It was incredible. It was better than pre-COVID. And who did it? Not just us. It was all the cities around here, because McAllen is the best city around. They want to come shop here. They want to come eat here. We need them. They need us. So the regional effort to me is very important so that we can keep on improving McAllen. So it goes hand in hand.
Veronica Vela Whitaker touched on this a little bit. So let me see if I can frame the question differently that branches off from this for both of y'all. She said that McAllen is the leader. Yes, agreed. On sales tax and everything else. Did we lose Vero? I don't see her.
We did.
Okay.
We did.
Well, let me start with you, Javi, on this one. She said McAllen is the leader. Okay. Sales tax receipts compared to Brownsville, 2-1. Brownsville's bigger in population, but on the business side, 2-1, hands down. McAllen versus Brownsville. But Brownsville is taking off like a rocket, pun intended. Do we need to forge a stronger relationship with Brownsville in order to help rise, the McAllen boat with this tide as well? Javi.
A rising tide picks up boats. Look, and let me tell you, McAllen and Brownsville compete. So where we assist each other is regionally and our NPOs and our organizations that bring in funds. But right off the bat, I can tell you, McAllen and Brownsville do compete. It's fantastic that they're doing great and they're going to hopefully boost up their economy. But when that happens, it also helps us over here. But we do compete. That's totally different. I don't think we could, unless it's the organization with the rest of the cities, it'd be difficult to forge an alliance.
Now, all of y'all, and I'm going to ask the same question of you, Vero. By the way, you're kind of sideways, Vero. You're about to fall off the screen if you put the phone the right way. Now, because voters have spoken in McAllen, y'all are a term limited to, what is it? Like, is it 3 terms now? 4-year terms? Okay, so 12 years from now, do you believe McAllen will still be the leader, or because of, as I mentioned, Javi, Brownsville and everything wonderful that's happening there, and Lord, if we get LNG at the Port of Brownsville, we're talking about an economic revolution. Do you think McAllen, 12 years from now, will still be the leader when it comes to business, when it comes to economic development, when it comes to sales tax and tourism? Javi.
Okay. Actually, I don't think so. I know so. McAllen is great. Whether you get all that in McAllen, that's different type of industry. McAllen's a little bit different. It's in a sense, and people say it, a little more sophisticated. If we do what I intend to do in the next 4 years and hopefully continue, McAllen is going to be great. The developments of the future are going to be a little bit different, and we need to, because we got to modernize. And a lot of the times we think the old-fashioned way, and we can't. There's an economic development projects that I'm looking at, of course we can't disclose, that would be amazing. So it's different type of areas. But McAllen, I can assure you, 10 years, 20 years from now, we'll be the leader, we'll be ahead of McAllen, definitely ahead of any other city around us.
All right. Let me ask you the same theme, Commissioner Whitaker, since we lost the connection there. And it was something that you said that branched into the theme of what we're talking about. You said McAllen is the leader. Yes, agreed. 2-1, just alone of the sales tax receipts on the purchases, 2-1 Brownsville. But Brownsville, as I said, Brownsville is taking off like a rocket, pun intended, absolutely. We land an LNG plant at the Port of Brownsville. We're looking at an economic revolution. In your potential tenure, if you serve out 3 terms, if God blesses you with that, 12 years from now, do you think McAllen will still be the leader in the Valley?
I do believe that McAllen is going to continue to be the leader in the city of McAllen. McAllen has foresight. They have ideas that continue to move McAllen forward. They have projects in place that they know that are coming towards McAllen. So it's going to make us, a bigger and a better city. Like I said earlier today, the maquilas and all of the different IT projects that we have coming to the city of McAllen, all of that is going to continue us to be the leader and to be in the forefront of all of the other cities. So yes, we've got plans to continue. We have leadership that wants to continue, and I think McAllen will always be one step ahead of everybody else.
You're listening to a McAllen Mayoral Candidates Runoff Candidate Forum, News Talk 710 KURV. Your questions, welcome at Facebook Live 710 KURV. Roxanne, back to you.
Question for Mr. Villalobos. What is your top priority, the signature topic that you'd like to champion, and how will it be paid?
Well, it's very, very simple. Right off the bat, it's just to keep the same level of services or better. And there's no issue about that. One of the things I think is very important is to help out the South. And people say, why help out the South? You're in the North. Well, because we help out the South. We create the tax base. We improve the tax base over there. And what happens? Well, now they help carry the burden of taxation. It helps the North. So if we have a balance, or at least a better tax base, it'd be incredible. Now, the other thing, and that really doesn't cost, or it will in the long run, but you can't do it. One thing that I really want to do right off the bat, a lot of times the perception the city of McAllen has in the areas in the North is that it's a rundown city. And I hate that. So one of the first things I want to do is right north of the expressway on Bicentennial, that little corridor, I want to improve it. Whether we take property, whether we relocate individuals, or worst case, you know what? If we can't, put a sound barrier like they do in Bicentennial and put the trails, make it nice. That's the first thing people see when they come from out of town. I think it's very important. The rest of the stuff, keep our services as good or better.
Same for you, Mrs. Villa Whitaker. What is your top priority, the signature topic that you'd like to champion, and how will it be paid?
It'll be paid with funds from the city of McAllen, of course, and we will amend monies for the projects that we want to move forward with. And of course, I would like to see South 23rd, south of the expressway. A lot of our the buyers and shoppers that come to McAllen are from Mexico. And so when they come down 23rd, South 23rd, and get all the way through downtown, we need to really make the South 23rd area, we need to, beautify it. We need to have some grants for them to be able to, the improvement grants for them to be able to upgrade some of their buildings and to make them more, attractive. There's a lot that can be done on South 23rd in order for when the people arrive, they're like, this is really, wow, McAllen. Everybody says it's a beautiful place to visit. It's really got some gusto. And I think, doing that for the nationals from across is really going to help us to move forward.
This next question is for you, Mrs. Villa Whitaker. Do you have a question for your opponent, Mr. Villalobos, that you'd like to ask him?
Are we towards the end, I guess?
We're getting close.
So
We've got about 10 minutes.
Okay, I know that someone's already asked him, since you are the city attorney for Donna and other surrounding cities, how can you be loyal to the city of McAllen at the same time?
Okay, it's very simple. When I represented the municipalities, first of all, there's no conflicts. I can represent 100 municipalities. I can represent universities. I can represent housing authorities. They're governmental entities, not business entities. I do not own any ownership or have stock or any business interest in the cities or the schools or anything. So, and that's what I said earlier, people just don't quite understand that. So should there ever be a conflict, and I doubt it very much, it's very simple. Just like Jim did because he worked for Renaissance, you recuse yourself and that's it. It hasn't happened in 3 years. I don't think it'll happen in the next 4 either.
I think you were only on the commission for 2 years.
3.
I guess we play inverse. Javi, you got a question for Commissioner Whitaker?
Okay, actually we had a debate a couple of days ago, and I asked my opponent, Commissioner, a question, and I hope she went back and looked into it because the response was totally wrong. I'm gonna ask it again. So one of the most important things we do in the commission is procurement. Our budget is in excess of 400 million. We both say we have experience. I asked you the last time, give me some exceptions to the competitive bidding requirements. So I hope you went back and looked into it.
You want some, I'm sorry?
Exceptions to competitive bidding requirements.
Well, I mean, it depends if we have a conflict of interest or not. And I know that one of the questions also dealt with water. And I know that we're right now in a lawsuit with the water district. Is that the one that you want me to answer you, or you were more about the competitive?
Exceptions to competitive bidding.
Nice. As long as they don't have a conflict, I think that the competitive bidding is important. And I know that we're always supposed to go for the lowest bid, but at some point, and sometimes just because it's the lowest bid doesn't mean that it's the best company for what our project is going to be. And so I think that we need to change that in saying lowest, close to lowest or lowest, but with the things that are in place for the project that we're going to do.
Could you define a bit more, Javi, on the roots of your question? Let me ask you, because what I hear is exceptions. Are you referring to, is this more like a nepotism type of question? Where
no, something that we don't have to do with competitive bidding. Exceptions to competitive bidding.
Okay. Very well.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Exceptions are, because we usually choose the lowest bid no matter when they come to us. And so your exceptions would be that we could choose one or two other bids instead of the lowest bid because they have the needs that we are looking for.
See, Roxy, Serge, and that's where we get into the issues of experience, because we're talking about exceptions. That is not an exception. That's competitive bidding. If we've been in there, if we both tout experience, if we have a budget of 400 million, this is one of the issues we should definitely know just like nothing.
Yes,
so this is the second time and I still get the wrong response. I'm asking, give me at least one exception.
The fact that we don't have to choose the lowest bid. That's an exception.
Can you provide one, Javi? What's on your mind?
Certainly. If you buy from a co-op, a sole source provider, health and safety, personal services, emergencies, that sort.
It's the lowest responsible bid is what you're asking for the exception?
Exception to competitive bidding.
That would be under unique circumstances, maybe an emergency spending type of situation, correct?
And we're talking about the exceptions, and that's why we talk about experience and knowledge and skill. And that's why I'm so glad that now it's one-on-one instead of 5 people, so that people can realize and see the differences in experience. And that's why I asked, what are the exceptions? It's very simple.
And that's also why we have a city attorney.
And
a city attorney who has experience with knowledge, experience, and skill, and has done the legwork before.
On the issue of competitive bidding, I'm not familiar with the city charter completely on the issue of what some folks would refer to as conflict of interest, nepotism as well. Veto, you're coming back, so go ahead and connect. Let me ask you, Commissioner Javi, does the city charter need to be revisited, addressed when it comes to competitive bidding that involves anyone on City Hall, anyone on the commission, where familial relationships are examined before a contract is assumed by the city? In other words, you doubly make sure that you do not contract with an individual who has direct family ties to a city commissioner.
And that's where you get more into the nepotism laws, but it's not in the charter. That's more state statutes. The nepotism laws, the conflict of interest laws, that's in the government code, the local government code. It's not necessarily in the charter. That's what dictates what nepotism is. That's what dictates what conflicts of interest are. And that's why I inform the public I've never had a conflict, and I probably never will.
All right, let's give Veto a chance to reconnect here. A final break of the segment. Joe, let's take a 2-minute break. Time's 2:52. We get some closing statements from the candidates. This is a McAllen Mayoral Candidate Forum, News Talk 710 KURV. A very big thank you to Bert Ogden and Fiesta Dealerships.
Jeff Malden, General Manager of Bert Ogden Mission Mazda, Edinburgh Mazda, Mission Kia, Bert Ogden Subaru, and Volvo of Edinburgh. Group-wide, we had the pleasure of having a couple of our General Motors stores be top in Texas. I want to say And Mr. Vacker won Dealer of the Year for Chevrolet, and we received top accolades as one of the top dealers for GMC in the state of Texas. So yeah, a lot of our brands have even with the inventory constraints and all of the other issues that the automotive industry has been dealing with, a lot of our brands are performing extremely well. We've had top accolades from Kelley Blue Book for Subaru on America's Trusted Brand for like 7 years in a row now. Kia continues to receive top accolades from J.D. Power in its initial quality surveys. A lot of our brands and a lot of our manufacturers are doing extremely well. We're here to take care of the Rio Grande Valley as we have for 40 plus years, and we look forward to continuing to serve the Valley and provide them with the excellent service and quality vehicles and quality care that the Rio Grande Valley has come accustomed to. Go online, pick their car, evaluate a trade-in, negotiate payments, submit a credit application, even more so just recently, actually have it go directly to the bank, get an approval, an exact interest rate, now being able to digitally sign contract. You can do just about everything from the comfort and safety of your own home. And for those people that, quite frankly, just don't want to come into the dealership, we'll now even take the car directly to them in our new fancy enclosed trailer, delivered all right to their front door.
Jeff Malden, it all starts and ends at birdogden.com. A very big thanks to all the Bird Ogden family and Bob and Janet Vacker for their support of today's KURV News Special. Time is 2:55. This is News Talk
710 KURV.
2:55, News Talk 710 KURV, McAllen Mayoral Candidate Forum. Very big thank you to Javier Villalobos and Veronica Vela Whitaker for joining us today. And let me go back to Roxanne, see if we can squeeze in one more question, then we have a closing statement.
I know both of y'all have brought up flooding. So flooding in certain areas of the city is always an issue. As commissioners, do you know how much needs to be spent to optimize water flow? Javi, you first. You're muted, Mr. Villalobos.
Unfortunately, our residents passed a bond for $20 million so that we could update some of the drainage projects. And we have, in 2018, we had 16 inches of rain. We had about 2,800 homes that flooded. With the projects we did, this Hurricane Hannah, there was approximately about 200 homes. So it was tremendous. It's amazing. Unfortunately, we had an area where Ridge, where because of different circumstances that flooded, and we're working on a project right now. So we've taken care of a lot of things, but as we take care of them, other things occur. The example is this weekend on Tres Lagos. It was starting to flood, but it was not the city's fault. It was a blockage on McCall over there in the drainage ditch. Do we still need some funds? We do. I suspect, in talking with our city engineer, I suspect we probably need at least about $10 million more. But even if we have to do it, understand the savings and the damages from 2,800 homes to 200. It's incredible. I can assure you damages are way in excess of 20, 30 million.
Okay, let me press the pause button real quick. You said the price tag for that one, was that relieving the flooding situation for Tres Lagos, $10 million, or are we looking at $10 million for all the little problems we have to fix in the city?
The $20 million was a bond passed by our residents, by our citizens.
Yeah.
We utilized that to do quite a few projects, and it has helped tremendously. But we know we still have a little bit to go. So we need to go back to our citizens or figure out what to do. But we estimate probably need at least about another 10 million.
All right. Beto, Commissioner, what would you say to the whole flooding situation that always comes up?
Well, as I mentioned before, we have 38 drainage projects going on that are still part of the bond, and hopefully we should complete them in the next year or so. And that's why I asked that some of the monies that are coming towards McAllen, that we can complete those, because we do have an issue when it does rain, and we do have an issue in some of the certain areas in the city of McAllen. And so we would like to be able to accommodate all of those who have invested in our city and who live in McAllen. And so I think it's important that we use some of those monies to complete those projects and then move forward with other projects. And at that point, then if we need to do another bond, then we'll do another bond. But hopefully, we've created some answers for those that we are in works with right now, and hopefully our projects will reduce and we'll be able to move forward at a better rate.
All right. Well, let's just under a minute. Javier Villalobos, just a final thought. Go ahead, sir.
Well, sir, certainly. How much time do I have?
45 seconds. Go ahead, Javi.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you all very much. And hopefully you all see the difference in experience. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about knowledge, experience, and skill. 23 years as a lawyer, doing the legwork that is necessary to bring it to the commissioners, to the table for to elected officials. Like I say, for 23 years, I've been telling elected officials what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So just for example, that question I asked Ms. Whitaker, hey, exceptions. I mean, that's something that should be very simple with a little bit of skill experience. But that's what we're talking about. Elected officials, you don't learn just by being an elected official. And that's the difference between myself and Commissioner Whitaker. I have done the legwork. I have done tremendous things for different municipalities, for different schools. I know what has to be done in order to get to the commission and make those informed decisions. So I tell people, look.
I need to go to Commissioner Whitaker to give her 45 seconds as well, Javi. So go ahead, Vero.
Thank you. Thank you. So I do want to thank everybody today, and I want to thank you, Sergio, for allowing us to be here this afternoon, visiting with our community and giving them knowledge of our experience. And yes, the exception was the word that I understood. And so we'll make exceptions. If we work as a team, which is what I am looking forward to, not just a one-person man that's going to tell us what to do. As an exception is something that we can work on. If our attorney doesn't agree with what we're doing, then that's when the attorney will jump in and say, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what does not need to be happening. So we have a team, we are a team, and we have an attorney who will guide us in the right direction when we're not sure of what we think is going on or what needs to happen. But I want to thank everybody again. I do have 8 years of experience on the city of McAllen as a commissioner and presently the McAllen Mayor Pro Tem. And I also have been involved in my city in many, many organizations.
That's it for top of the hour. Folks, thank you to both of you for making time to speak with us today. That's Veronica Vela Whitaker, Javier Villalobos. You'll see them for runoff. The election starts Monday for the early vote. This is KURV Edinburgh. Stick around. We'll speak with the city commissioner candidates next.
Fire.